Volatile week ahead, guys. There's a couple key things happening, really. A couple key events that I want to talk about. One of which could massively affect Bitcoin. So we need to discuss and see what could happen there. Before I do, as always, I update the spreadsheet. Just the first 26 coins I held, first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel. If you invested $100 into each one when I release the videos and you're still holding all that crypto, be in profit for over 37 grand. These coins are not what I hold anymore. If you want to see what I hold, you can come check out Copy My Cryptos, where I share every coin I buy, every coin I sell, how I'm setting up my portfolio in preparation for if we go bullish or bearish in this market. One thing I do keep banging on about to people is you've got to start building a list of cryptos that you think have huge long-term potential, because when the bear cycle finally kicks in, they'll retrace 60-70% in price, probably more. And there's an opportunity to get cryptos at real discount rates. And if they're meeting their roadmap, they're building good partnerships, and they retrace enough, there's a hell of a shot that those could do 50 to 100x's. So build that list of coins. I've got my list of coins that I'm watching very, very carefully during over when a bear cycle finally kicks in, and if I think they can 50x or more, I'm going to be sharing them with the Copy My Crypto members. So if you want to be a part of that, click the link in the description and check it out. Right, I guess we'll start with the EU. So today's EU Micah vote could ban exchanges from listing proof of work crypto assets. So the latest draft of the controversial Micah report still contains language that could stop crypto service providers from transacting in proof of work coins. As a result, a potential proof of work ban is now possible in Europe. Earlier this month, the MEP responsible for reporting on Micah confirmed that the contentious Article 61, paragraph 9c had been removed. Berger, who lists his role in the Micah committee in his Twitter bio, believes that the regulatory changes will be pioneering in terms of innovation for the crypto markets. Similarly to Biden's executive order, the Micah focuses primarily on protecting citizens when investing in crypto assets. Protecting citizens. However, the Micah report includes some wording far removed from the White House document. If passed, the EU Act would effectively ban exchanges from listing any crypto asset that doesn't meet their environmental sustainability criteria. So 9b, crypto asset providers shall not provide services related in any way, shape, or form to crypto assets that do not meet the environmental sustainability criteria in accordance with Article 3a. In particular, they shall not facilitate the purchase or trading of such crypto assets and shall not offer custody services for such crypto assets. Now, the definition for environmental sustainability criteria is effectively here. So a crypto asset is unsustainable if it might have a significant environmental impact when operated at a sufficiently large scale, considering the consumption of energy, the use of real resources, carbon emissions, electronic waste, and specificities of the incentive design. So this definition actually is a problem, is quite damning for Bitcoin, because even though we know a lot of Bitcoin is mined with renewable energy, this kind of decision from the EU could have really far-reaching ramifications, and this vote happens today. And to make things worse for European crypto investors, a further amendment in the latest version states that the Act will require all crypto services to introduce KYC and AML procedures. Now, that is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but part of that is always under the guise of money laundering or other criminal activities. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see how it goes. But another clause that declares that all exchanges will also be required to ensure full traceability of any transaction over 1,000 euros. Again, it's not going to go down well. All of a sudden, you're going to have the EU government or the EU talking, like, monitoring your transactions because the exchanges are required to. Yeah, it's not great. Ledger issued a statement on Friday entitled "Stand for Financial Freedom, Our Position on Micah's Proof of Work Ban." And the article claims that the innovative and growing digital asset economy in Europe will vanish if the act passes. They go further, asking supporters to email, call, or tweet their MEP to attempt to stop the act from progressing as it stands. Pierre Pearson, MEP for Paris, commenting on the report, remaking, as it stands, it definitively condemns the future of crypto assets in Europe by banning Bitcoin and Ethereum, by complicating the use of NFT and DeFi. The European Parliament is mortgaging our monetary and financial sovereignty. No doubt about it. So what happens next is the agenda for the session can be found on the EU Parliament website. They will vote to accept the current draft of the legislation and whether to enter into interinstitutional negotiations. Interinstitutional negotiations involves trilogues, which are the last stage before a provisional agreement is made up and the act is then adopted. So as we see right now, EU seem to be protecting basically everyone but the individual. This whole we're sorting it out for the individual. You're going to crush potentially the European markets altogether. And none of these EU regulations will apply to the European Central Bank, National Central Bank of the member states when acting in their capacity as monetary authority or public authorities. So as always, banks protected, but us as individuals trying to create a new, not even a new monetary system, but we all have our own investments. Yeah. So how this breaks down is going to be very, very important. If this is voted through, I would expect that we'll see a fairly dramatic decline in the market today. It's going to be a very, very interesting day. The other thing, obviously, is the FOMC meet this week on Wednesday. So the markets are saying this. The worst fear in the market is that the war not only intensifies in Ukraine, but spreads outside the border of Ukraine. So the US Federal Reserve, the Bank of Japan have policy meetings this coming week. While the Fed is certain to hike rates, the BOJ hold onto a dovish stance on monetary policy. So that's good for Japan, not so much for the US. But in terms of the rate hike, we're looking at a 25-point rate hike as opposed to a 50, unless they obviously backtrack on what they've said. Now, the Russia-Ukraine situation obviously threatens higher inflation in the US and around the world. And in terms of what Wall Street are expecting, basically, they believe that the Federal Reserve will start raising interest rates on March 16th, so literally Wednesday, when they meet. With inflation nearly 4 times the US Central Bank's 2% target, economists are expecting as many as 7 rate hikes this year. While the market expects the central bank to raise the Fed funds target rate by 25 basis points, the CPI data suggests that the Federal Open Market Committee could act more aggressively to curb inflation this year. Now, that would be a big friggin' switch if they decided to all of a sudden go 50 points, particularly given that we've already heard from them in the past month talking about the rate hike, and 25 points was pretty much stated in press conferences. So to then go to 50 points would certainly be bearish for the entire market. And I've spoken about this before. One thing that we do see, if they taper, is a taper tantrum. And if they do decide to push forward with tapering, we will probably see a bad month for crypto and for financial markets, because that's always been the history. The moment tapering occurs, we have a taper tantrum month where markets decline. They tend to, 95% of the time after that, they've bounced back the following month. But we do expect that in the short term, so we'll see. So oil prices and Fed are obviously going to be discussing that as well. over the next week. Oil prices and the US Fed will drive USD-INR. We expect a broad range of 76 and 77 on spot. I'm not sure we'll see that level, to be fair. I'd expect higher. But in terms of what we're going to be seeing this week, these are some pretty big moments. This EU Micah vote is certainly going to have widespread impacts. And it's all under the guise of we're protecting you, but they're protecting banks. They're actually crushing individuals if they go forward with this, because it isn't going to push innovation. It's also going to close off Bitcoin to the European markets. Now, Bitcoin fundamentally leads crypto markets. So if this ban was to come in and they effectively ban Bitcoin, Ether won't be affected for long, because obviously it's moving to proof of stake this summer completely. But Bitcoin, if Bitcoin gets hit with effectively a ban in the EU, in terms of the markets, that could take that could cause some real downward pressure on Bitcoin. Again, in the short term, the long-term view of Bitcoin still remains the same, but Bitcoin leads the market, so that would have wide-reaching implications for the entire market. This is like genuinely, if you are in the EU, you should be emailing your MEP, because if this goes through, it would be terrible. In the short term, it would be terrible. And it would also, you as an EU citizen would then be traced. Every transaction above $1,000 is traced. There's nothing decent about that. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting day, because this happens today. Then Wednesday this happens. So yeah, some volatility coming this week. So it could be very, very bearish. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you're all keeping well. If you're new to crypto, or you've been in crypto a while and you're not sure how to navigate these damn markets, come check out Copy My Cryptos, where I share every coin I buy, every coin I sell, how I'm setting up my portfolio in case things turn super bearish or in case things turn super bullish. And guys, build your list of cryptos that you're super bullish on long term, because when a bear market hits, they're the coins you want to be in on if you believe in them. I've got a list of cryptos that I'm watching, and when I think they can do those sort of 50 to 100x's, like I said with Phantom, I'm going to be going in hard on them, and I'll be sharing them with the Copy My Crypto members. So if you want to be part of it, click the link in the description and check it out. Yeah, that's it from me. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.